Okay, hello and welcome back to my mapping series, and this is what we will do today. Adding color maps, overgrowth, undergrowth, and getting it all in game. And yeah, and then looking at it because now it looks almost like a map at this point. So, how will we do that? Alright, let's make this map look a little bit better, and today we're going to do vegetation and color maps. So, vegetation first, overgrowth. So overgrowth is all vegetation that is automatically generated, but which renders at range. For example, these trees, they render even if I zoom out a bit, they still continue to render until after the fog has reached them. So they only disappear and are not rendered when they are in the fog. So for the player, they are basically always there as long as he looks at them. That's overgrowth. And we will automatically generate most of that. I clicked on the overgrowth tool up here. Now you have to create a bunch of materials. And the way I usually do it is I go from the smallest up to the biggest. So, add material, the first one, material 1, blue. And the first one will be bushes underscore low. Let's do that. Bushes low, that's our first material. Next material will be bushes high. And we should already plan what we do with these. So the bushes low, you know what, let's start with the bushes high. Bushes high we will place in along these erosion ditches that were either automatically generated or which we made ourselves. And bushes low will be around the edges then, as well as in some clumps, maybe in the open terrain as well, but not that many. So bushes low are around, bushes high are inside, and I think bushes low we will also place in the instances where the ditches aren't all that significant. So this would be prime example for bushes high, and these areas here would be prime example for bushes low. So then the next material, material 3, we're gonna do forest edge. Forest edge will be deciduous trees of these types here, as well as bushes as well. And these will be at the edges of forests. So around these areas here where the forest starts to go into the open. And then in front of that we might paint a little bit of bushes low as well. Then fourth one will be Forest Center. And Forest Center will be these kind of big pine and Scots pine trees, relatively far apart, because these kind of trees usually stand in the center of the forest because the canopy means that light doesn't reach down as far, so they have their actual trunks relatively free of leaves. So these are the 4 things. Let's put actual objects in there. Add type. Well, first type, bush 1. So then we choose a geometry, and we will use the same ones that we also placed by hand. So WIP bush 1 from the St. Veit one, that's the one without leaves. Then we will set a certain density that we will try out a bit, but for now you can put the density for something like that relatively high. Let's put 8. Rotation scale means that those are like, if you have how is it? I think if you have rotation scale either 1 or 0. I think if you have rotation scale 1, that means they conform to the height map. For the bushes, let's set it to 1 for now. Actually, I might have that switched around, but who cares? So for the bushes, we will set that to 1 for now, because bushes might as well be standing on a slope. For the trees, we can't do that, because otherwise they would be sticking out like here if they get generated here. We will do that a little bit. Okay, but for the bushes, we can set it to 1. Min radius the same is what is the minimum radius that these are placed to the same type of object. And for bushes like that we can make that relatively small, like 0.3 meters. And min radius to others is how close can they be placed to other objects that are placed, so other objects in the overgrowth thing. And that we will place a bit closer. Okay, 0.1. And we will do that for the other type of bushes as well. Add bush 2. So WRP St. Veit, bush 2, density 7, why not? And rotation scale 1, and same thing, just the same thing. And then last one, and we will tweak these later to get the effect we want. Bush 3. So let me try something out, because for the bushes high we will use the same once again. Can I copy them over? That would be really useful, but okay, it doesn't, no, okay. Would be too easy, I guess. We will copy this, so we will do exactly the same thing here again for the bushes high, but, well, you shall see. So, alright, now we will add some additional. Add type, what's that called? That bush, that's a bit bigger of a bush, that's why it's called bushes high. West Europe, dead bush, that's the one that we also already placed by hand in the forest sometimes. Okay, density there maybe a bit lower, 5. Again, this density stuff we will fix. Min radius to same should probably be a bit bigger. Min radius to others also, because that's a bigger object. Okay. 0.5 meter, I think that is. Add type reeds. Okay. And apparently Stubfan told me recently that maybe we should be a bit careful with how many different things we put into one of the objects, one of the types of OG. It might be the case, but so I think I will stop it at WRP read here. Relatively high density as well. Scale, no scale, yeah, rotation scale 1. I think we might have to change that later, but we will see how it looks. Radius the same, 0.4. 0.4. Okay. So then, forest edge, again the bush types, because bushes you can always use, but here we will make the bushes a bit sparse. Don't need that many because there will be trees as well. We don't want to create too much cover. And we can of course always add new stuff to that after we're done painting it. So that's not that big a deal to do that. And lastly, bush number 3. So we will add the dead bush here as well. And after that, it's trees. Now the forest edge we will also place in some cases, I think, outside of our OOB area to add details easily in some areas, including in the forests that are already not forests, in the villages that are already made. These values might be complete bullshit. We will look to see how it ends up looking when we create it. Now that needs a bit bigger. Okay, so now we will add the trees, add type, tree 1. Deciduous 10. Let's make density 6 for now. Rotation scale a little bit, so there's a bit of variation. Min radius to same, 50 centimeters I would say. Min radius to others, bit closer, 30 centimeters. We would see how it works out. And then of course add type tree 2. And that will be deciduous 13 meters. We don't place the hedgerow trees here. These are a bit, you can use these as trees, like actual trees, but it's a bit tricky to place them automatically. I won't go into detail about that because I'm not doing it here, but on other maps you can do it. Rotation scale, again 0.1. Okay. And lastly, Forrest Center. By now you probably know the drill. After this I need to save, sometimes it does crash when doing this. Bush 2, or was that undergrowth? You know, just save. 5. Da, 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 da. And last one, oh no, not last one, last bush type, dead bush. No, wait, that was in West Europe. Okay, so we have the dead bush there, and now the big trees. So pine 1. We're gonna first start with the West Europe pine 22 meters, I think it was, which we used here. Yep, pine 22M. Creation scale again, let's do it at 0.2. Radius the same, 1 meter. Then radius to others, let's do it 0.5. Pine 2, and that's where we'll put the Scots pine, the first one. I don't think I will place the dead Scots pine automatically, I only placed that a few times by hand. It's probably for the best. No, that's not St. Vith, that's East Europe. Scots pine 1. Okay, and it's important here to place those that you have already placed by hand, so we have a limited palette of different trees and stuff, because otherwise your overgrowth file will balloon to gigantic proportions. And last one, Scots pine 2, or pine 3 as we will call it. I think that one is a bit smaller, so 3.3. Okay, save that shit. Objects will be saved, and overgrowth. Alrighty. Okay. Now that we will do that, we will select bushes low and start with the painting. Now you can't see where you paint with this. We'll first paint all around here. Let's put it here, and in order to see it, I clicked. You go into overgrowth mode, and there we go. That would then be covered with low bushes. Make it a bit smaller. Usually, what I do then is go into the normal mode so I can see where I'm painting, and then just paint invisible around here. And yeah, this will take a while, so I will speed that up. Okay, so painted the low-lying bushes, save that, and with saving that they should also be generated. But where are they? Well, render, draw overgrowth, and here we go. Now you can see these low-lying bushes that weren't there before. Think Overgrowth Atlas might still be bugged, but hey. So, for me, those are way too far apart and way too thin on the ground. So, as I said, we will have to tweak this. Put it up to 14. 15 for some reason. There's more. Could still be more. Why do they pop in so late? Well, we can deal with that later. Actually, that's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure that might be a bug with the overgrowth settings, but that's easy to fix. You know what? We can do it even a bit more. I mean, if it lags, we can always change it back. Just want them relatively thick on the ground here. Okay. So we have the low-lying bushes here now. In these little ditch areas. So next what we will paint are the bushes high. These we will paint in areas of where the ditches are relatively deep, like here. And where there's other vegetation as well. As you can see, that's the higher bushes. So, let's do that here. By the way, you can automatically generate this stuff as well, quite easily actually, but I prefer to do it by hand for the overgrowth. Undergrowth I can do automatically just fine, but on overgrowth I like to paint by hand so I have a bit more control. But it depends on how much time you want to invest. I think I will show you how you can mess by hand, basically using your source file, how you can mess with undergrowth, and the same principles apply obviously to overgrowth. So if you know how to do one thing, you can do the other as well, if you want. Okay, and then here a bit. Yeah, we'll also add a bit of forest because I was too lazy to place all the vegetation back here. Okay, placing more of that. Oh yeah, over here, in these kind of areas a lot. Of course that's out of bounds, but hey. Yeah, so you have some cover when trying to flank down here. Okay, that's prime real estate for the higher overgrowth. Let's just add that stuff layer by layer. Well, this will be covered by forest later. This as well, but for now I'm gonna place that stuff. Then of course the fake river here. All the high stuff in here. Here of course. Check it from time to time. This might actually be an easier way to paint it. So let's see. Here we can place it a little bit. Other than that, yeah, in these areas. Yeah, there we had already painted it. Painted here, and I think over here as well. The rest of these up here are not as, yeah, they don't need that stuff. Yeah, should be fine like that. Then yes, that's forested areas. Let's get an overview if there's an area that we could still plastic. Oh yeah, over here. Painting. Oh, here apparently. Oh yeah, wait, that's inside the forest. Never mind. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Maybe a bit more here as well. Why not? Yeah, here. Other than that, looks fine. Yeah, maybe in the ditches here around the thingies, around the windmills. And since we know that from the other, let's put that shed real high. Yeah, 30, maybe a bit high. Dead bush. Maybe up to 20. Reeds as well. So, hold on to your butts, save it. And now in some of these places there should be the higher bush types. Yeah, here's the dead bush for example. Whoa. Okay, so that bush probably should have less rotational scale if I look at this. As should that one. Okay. Let's do it like this. Yep, that's a bit more reasonable. Nope, that's normal scale. One sec. Okay. That's a dead bush, right? Okay, rotational scale, let's say 0.3 for that. Yep, okay, that makes more sense. The reeds will probably be even more extreme in that case, so 0.2. I don't see any reeds in these. Oh yeah, never mind here, and I think that actually looks fine. We might actually be able to get more of those. Make it a bit thicker. Maybe make this a bit thicker here as well. We can later kind of tweak this a bit more. Like here. Make sure to get it the way you want it, of course. Okay, I think together with the undergrowth that we will add to these areas, that will look pretty nice. Why is that so empty? Let's save all OG. Okay, that's at least one more bush, I guess. Maybe we need to get this one down a little bit. Huh, okay. Okay, so we have quite a bit of vegetation now already. Now we will do the forest, and we will of course start with forest edge. And I think here I will just orient myself roughly according to our hemi-map plan. What I will do first is take a medium size or a relatively small still brush and cut those out, so to speak, like this, and then I will just fill them in the overgrowth mode, where I can then see the outline and paint it in. Okay, this stuff is of course way OOB, and if there's performance trouble you may have to delete all of it, but for now, let's do it like that. We also need to take care to that we don't completely fill it in, because we need to we have these breadcrumb type areas. You know what I mean, the detail areas that we have to of course keep free of automatically generated overgrowth. Just so we can see the outlines here. Wait, do I already have that stuff? Yeah, okay. It looks funky, like one of those paintings that lights up in the under black lights or whatever. Oh yeah, I still haven't thought about why those dummy flags didn't work when we tested it. I mean, huh? How could I have missed them? Okay. No, wait, wrong one. Hemi-map. That way it's easier. Sorry about that. Okay. Don't know if we'll place buildings here. That seems so far out of bounds that probably nobody will ever see it without plans. And I think that's it, right? Yeah, looks like it. So now we're gonna... I mean, these big ones won't have any central, like, trees. They will just stay like deciduous trees. These small, like, patches. That's actually quite a lot of forest. I hope that we won't run into performance trouble. I can't guarantee that we won't though. Okay, so here it's getting a bit complicated. But not much. Just gonna have to paint around these, and in there of course not at all, because that's where the central trees will be. I think this is about the thickness we will go for the yeah, that's a central tree, for the deciduous part of the map. And again, this one we will cut out because obviously we already placed shit there. We don't want it to be doubled up, so to speak. Makes little sense. Cut it out, cut it out. Okay, this is again mainly out of bounds. Actually, I might put German spawn points here for that one. Ah, maybe later. Let's see what the testers say first. I think I will commit this thing to beta today because it's a Saturday. So maybe if the testers wanna test something on Sunday, they can check it out. Why not? That being said, we don't really do balance testing and shit anymore. We just have too few people. And really, it's, in my opinion, it's not even that effective. Considering how many maps we have that are completely unbalanced, like more imbalanced than new ones, and these were tested with way more people than what we do today. And it's like, well, you know, at some point you just have to ask yourself if that was so important. Okay. Obviously we don't necessarily want to have trees on our lane here. There will be trees out of place, but that's for the testers to find, to be honest, and that can easily be fixed at some point. By hand, I mean. You know what, let's put the bushes high in this one. And Forest Edge again. Phew. That one looks fairly done. Yep. Let's carry on up here. Can make it a bit bigger again. It's actually a really big map now. If you remember, I wanted to do a 1-1 first. 1 times 1 kilometer, now it's 2 times 2. Now, it probably was the right call, but it made the whole thing a lot bigger. And very long distances. But then again, I'm into that kind of stuff, to be honest. What that will be a deciduous corner. That thing over there will just go completely forest edge, so to speak, completely deciduous. Lots of overgrowth. I hope performance will hold up. We will see. It's always hard for me to judge that stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, right. Forgot. There's more to this map. Okay. Let's go over here first. OOB. Probably gonna be deleted at some point. I mean, if it's completely in the OOB and never renders, it can't really fuck with the performance that much, can it? Then we're almost done with the overgrowth. Well, except fixing bugs with it, where there will be many of those. But in the sense that we only have the insides of the forest to paint after this. Okay. Here we have to be a bit careful, because this was, yeah, that was the damaged section. Let's paint around it. Right, like this. And here, let's leave the forest a bit more sparse here. But then, yeah. Green, green, green. This we will cut off. Okay. Then this. It's OB, so we just paint roughly around that. Actually getting some FPS drop when looking at this, so might be that we will have to fix that later. Thinking that I will also paint some of the forest, because I didn't place as many trees there as I could have. Just like this. This. Okay. 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 Now, do it like that, why not? If we will just fill at this edge. Okay. Already prepared. Okay. Okay. Oh, that one is still missing. Oops, that's a bit small. Alrighty. Think that's it. So hold on to your butts. Yeah, pops in late, that will be fixed, so I think basically automatically. Yeah, that needs to be a tad thicker, I hope. We can do that. We will keep the bushes, except that one a bit lower. Trees, put them up to 12. Yeah, it doesn't help that they pop in so late. If I restart the editor, that will be fixed as far as I know. And they are a bit too crooked for my taste. So rotation scale, let's put it to, yeah, you know what, fuck, just 0. Let's put that down a bit and see what happens. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's leave it like that. Now it does look more like a forest. Stop popping in, it's so annoying. Maybe if I generate the overgrowth atlas. It's still bugged. Fuck it then. Okay, and the last one, the center. You know what? Might as well already. Rotation scale gone. Oh yeah, and for the bushes probably too. Fuck those for now. Probably can already make these at least a little bit higher in density. Okay. Then let's paint this stuff. The yellow. So. Painting around the details. You know what, let's leave a little clearing here as well, why not? Mix it up a bit. Careful here, that's a flag zone. So paint around the details. Paint, 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 paint. Okay, that should be good. Paint around. And here we can just fill it out. Nice. Actually, maybe I should have placed some details here. I can do that. You can always change your map later, obviously. Yep. Okay, I'm not gonna fill all that out. There's tricks that you can do for the OOB area to make it look like there's more forest there than there is, like making layers like this. Let's do that for now, because I'm already kind of iffy about possible performance drops here. But in the end you can always easily thin it out. That's not the big problem. Overgrowth is easy to place and change, so if it's too much, then it's too much and we can fix it. That's way easier and less painful to fix than static placement stuff. I mean, we can literally change a few numbers and it will automatically thin out the forest for us, you know, so. Nifty. Not to mention we can delete the OOB forests completely, stuff like that, so it's not a big deal. Jamaican flag here. There we go. Shit. Okay, here we go. Around there. So and over here we're just gonna do the bare minimum. Because that's OB anyway. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the forest. Save it. That should generate the overgrowth. Will my computer blow up? Boom. Alright. You know what? Let's get rid of most of those bushes for one thing. Less bushes, more trees. Probably we'll have to thin out the bushes more than the trees in the end, in terms of performance. Let's do this down. Okay. Okay. Oh, now it's actually kind of lagging, but part of that might be that's rotation scale fuck up, right? No? Okay, never mind then. Why is the rotation scale so weird? One sec. So that's pine 1, right? Yeah. Okay, that did not make it better. Wait, what was normal scale again? Ah, it was normal scale that made them go according to the... Ah, okay. So rotation scale always needs to be 0. Sorry about that. Or a low number at least. And rotation scale means... normal scale means that they are... that they conform to the height map. Okay. So for the bushes it would be rotation scale 0, normal scale 1. For the trees, also normal scale 1 or a low number 0.2 or something. Okay. Okay. Okay, these here, I think the first ones are already fixed, right? No, we will see. We can change that later as well. Here we go. Well, we do have a forest. It might lag out our map, but we have one. And it's bugged right now. And doesn't render properly. So, save all, and let's restart the editor. Alright, the editor is restarted. Let's try to blow it up. Min cull distance. Okay. Oh. Yep, seems to work. So now we have a forest, probably too thick. We will have to look at that later. In game, for one thing, editor is always a bit laggy. But yeah, it certainly is a forest. And it certainly looks cool and realistic. I hope we can keep it like that without it lagging in game. The editor, as I said, quite normal that it lags. And over here, yep. So what we will do next, and after that I think I will commit this to the beta, but what we will do next is place some nice, not place some nice, we're not going to place anything, but we're going to make the color maps. We will see. Oh, nothing to save. Okay, see you outside. Alright, it's color map time. And for that, we go back to our source file. I told you it would come in handy later. And I just realized, no, we're not gonna do that yet, although we will use it obviously. But what we need to do first is update this, because this is still the old file. Now we will update it with everything that we made in our in the editor. And for that we will use, of course, the BF2 mod toolkit. But before we can do that, we go into the SVN copy editor, color maps and detail maps, because these are now updated. Go over to our truncated FH2. Which one did we use? It was Colourmaps, wasn't it? Yep, overwrite. Rename. Oops. And here we go. BF2 mod toolkit. Yes. Select, not Battlefield 5, that would be weird. This one, okay, validate, don't blow up, okay. Colourmaps. So now we're gonna export color and detail maps. And that should give us new exported image files, which we will copy over to our project folder. Okay, still exporting. Done. Okay, go back into mods. Yeah, editor. So first we have our new exported image here. So as you can see, all the stuff in terms of colors that we painted on there, the pisno, the blue stuff, that's all on here now. Then I'm gonna go into detail maps, load these two, and now we import these into our source file. And these we will have to keep whenever we do something in the editor. Afterwards, you know, to these files, afterwards we'll update them in our source file. So, and correctamundo. Now this stuff we can now push down because we probably won't need it as much anymore, or actually not at all, but just for forests, just for reasons of what's it called? I'm looking for a word. Just for reasons of archiving it, we will keep it there. So this is the color editor. Then let's do this one first. New. Go fuck yourself. Detail 1 editor. Detail 1 editor. And of course, why the fuck do I have to select it twice for me to actually write then? Fuck you. Detail 2 editor. And these two are the more important ones, really. Put it down there. Okay. So, what we'll have to do next is make our color map. We already have some things here that we used for it, but that's obviously not ideal. So, what we need to do next is get some textures. For textures, we will go to textures.com, and this is where you can get textures for free. You can also pay for them if you want, but for our purposes, we will get them for free, because we don't need the really modern or high resolution ones. So, snow. Okay, and right now I'm gonna grab this one, because that looks like I want to use it for as a detailed texture for those disturbed snow areas. We're gonna use 1024 times 1024, which is free for 1 credit. You get a certain amount of credit per account. And save that. Okay, it's in my download folder now. We'll put that in the projects folder later. So then we want some stuff that we can use for color mapping. What? Let's look at that one. Well, that's maybe a bit much. Yeah, of course those maybe we could put into a skybox in some way, although I've never tried that. Let's see, what kind of textures you need are these here. Seamless. That means you can easily tile them. Otherwise, you will have to make them seamless by hand, which is actually somewhat tricky. Oh, this is a nice one for a color texture. It might be a bit too... oh, there's actually 2 versions, but that's good. We will take these 2. Might actually be a bit too busy, but we will do it like this right now, and if we have to put down the contrast later, then we'll have to do it. What did I do there? No, not open. And save. Okay. Let's see if there's more that we might want to use, but with these 2 we can already, I think, make a decent color texture. I mean, I already have a bunch of textures, so we don't need to have new ones for every layer. I'm just thinking mud, probably I will just use one I already used before, but okay, leave it for now. Back in the projects folder, new folder, textures. Here we go. I had a 4th one that for some reason I had apparently downloaded earlier, so I put that in there as well. Okay, so back into GIMP. Here we go. First of all, get rid of that one, don't need it. So, color snow is our background color, and we just had that white-ish. So, what we are going to do now is going to textures, take one of those nifty looking ice textures. Again, the color we can even... oh, it's a JPEG. The colors we can easily tweak later if they're too much. Yeah, fuck it. Okay. Here we go. Where the fuck is normal movement thing, so I don't paint by accident. Okay, copy that over, and we will just replace color. Okay, no, wait, we won't. First of all, obviously, we need to tile this. It's 1024 times 1024. We're gonna do it like this. We will first go to this one and tile it. Or, no, first we will resize it. Scale picture, let's do 512 times 512. Make it a bit smaller, and now we're going to go on filter and then here and then tile that shit on 496 times 496. Boom, and then now we have a good background texture. Merge down. No, wait, first make it. So then merge down. Here we go. Is it still called color snow? Yeah, okay. So what we'll do now is copy this. Call this and this we will call color disturbed, which is for the disturbed kind of snow. And for that we will actually, let's get rid of that. Yep. We will take the other texture. Here we go. This one I think we will just tile. Put that on there. Or you know what? We will call that something else. Color highlights. And what we will do with that is we will add an alpha mask. Make it black so we don't see it at all, and then I am going to use the get the height map and put the height map into the color highlight. Okay, like that. Let's look at it. Show the mask. What the fuck? That looks shit. 1 second. Let's take maybe the height map basic. Does that look better? The fuck? That does not look like I had hoped. What did I do wrong here? 1 sec. Is it because these are in... Why are these so posterized? Is it because of the... Okay, maybe I did something. 1 second. RGB. Why is that posterized? Okay, we have that here. Okay, some shenanigans going on there. So what's wrong here? Must be that mode thing that I just clicked on. Yeah, it's just RGB for everything, right? fuck? Okay, I never had that before. 1 second. Alright, no idea what the fuck that's caused by, but for some reason it loses all those colors when I copy over the height map, even though the height map is just like grayscale, right? Maybe I need to put it into grayscale. Let's see if that does anything. Jesus Christ, that will take a while. Alright, that's our height map now. What we will do now is try this again. It looks a bit different now, but as long as I get the structure in there, I don't care. So, color highlight, put it into the alpha channel. Alright, now it should work, right? Okay, I didn't lose any of that. Looks, I think, like before. Okay, so and what we have to do now is tweak it a little bit. Brightness and contrast. A little bit less bright. Higher contrast though. I think I might have to restart my computer. It's really... I mean, this file is getting a bit big. Okay. Then maybe put a smoothing filter over it, Gaussian. Okay, what does that look like now? Okay. So what I want is a different effect though. There still needs to be more contrast, I think. Brightness, contrast. Okay, maybe first brightness needs to be put down a bit. This. Okay, now we're cooking with water. Okay. Now a noise filter. Obviously, well, RGB makes little to no sense. Oops. Because it needs to be grayscaled. But that way there's some noise on here. Then let's put some kind of artistic filter over it, I would say. Maybe oil painting, something like that. Something to make it look weird. Okay, that will take a while again. Okay, now it might be a bit too dark. We're gonna do that with a contrast. It's kind of annoying. Really what I want is a nice contrast between the dark and the higher what's it called, and the higher okay, that's maybe a bit much, brighter areas. Let's see how this looks. Nah, I can't really see it properly. Why doesn't this work? One sec. Okay. Okay, check this out. Yeah, it's a little bit. I think it's in part also because the background is a bit busy, but we're getting there. Brightness and contrast, put that shit up. Contrast here, brightness maybe a little bit. Okay. Yeah, okay, now it's starting to be visible, but we need still a bit more. Did it even change there? I think that might be about as... Here we go. Okay, yep, that's okay. Obviously in YouTube, due to the compression, you won't actually be seeing much here, I realize that. Alright. Yep, that's that. So we will use that as our background. Now the color erosion. For that we will use a... You know what, maybe I'm gonna do it differently. Add alpha here and kind of switch it around. One sec. Put the alpha from up there in here. Then put that down here. I think that's a bit cooler. Ah, wrong button, I deleted it. This one, just the layer, the alpha mask. Okay, so that's our basic snow texture. As I said, we might have to fuck with the color and contrast of here if it is too busy in the end. Like, yeah, it's pretty busy if you look at, if you really zoom in. But that also might be fine, but we will see. It's relatively easy to tweak then, just a bunch of trying out. So the next one, color erosion. So that of course needs to be completely replaced, and that I want to look kind of more grayish. Let's look at our textures here. Now let's take this one, which we will probably also use as actual detail texture. Okay. Actually, for color texture it is a bit too busy maybe, then again, who cares. Let's make it small first. Scale picture to 256, and then tile it up to 4096. Okay, boom. So that's the next one, copy that over. Let's delete that alpha layer, we will replace that anyway. Put it down. Okay, and that is our new color erosion. Next, add an empty alpha layer, and then we will have to put in there the exact... One sec. Let's make this invisible. We will have to put in there the correct detail areas. So disturbed snow was put by me in all areas that are blue in this. So this is where in game the disturbed snow detail texture will be. So we will go and select all the blue areas here with that tool. Boom! So all the blue areas, copy it, click on the alpha layer, Ctrl-V, fill it with complete white, and then put it in there, and let's switch it back on. Boom. So as you can see, all the disturbed snow areas are now like this. Actually, I don't want to have them gray, I misspoke earlier. So we will now change the color here a bit into the kind of bluish area that we have here. One sec. Why doesn't that work? Is that still set to some kind of okay, now it works. So make it a bit more bluish. Okay, that's green. Put it like this for now, okay. And then desaturate it. Oh, looks still a bit green now. Okay. Okay, we'll have to do it differently with the other tool. Okay, that's the wrong direction. Just green, 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 green. Bit darker. Ah. Okay, let's put it like this for now. If we deactivate the alpha layer, yep, let's leave it like this. That will probably look so wonky on your screen right now. So next up, no wait, that's color, I called that color erosion. Okay, I put the wrong thing in there. Okay, this color disturbed snow is this now. Color disturbed. So now we were gonna do color erosion, and that is the actual erosion color. And I think we will keep the same texture, but desaturate it so it looks really nice and grayish. Yep, like this, and maybe make it a tad darker. Now we'll contrast a bit down as well. Okay, so add, and by now you know that, add the mask, make it invisible. Now we have to go into this detail texture that we imported, and the erosion was a blue again. Take it, nice. I think, okay, one thing after another. When color erosion, put that in there, fill with white, put it down, and then let's switch everything back on. Here we go. And as you can see, we're kind of making progress here with the texture. And I think I'm going to copy this whole thing. And we will call this one Color Erosion Detail, or Color Erosion Highlight. And what we will do is take the original really weird looking erosion basic here, copy that and put that into the mask here. Here we go. Yeah, looks weird, but it's only a mask. So, and that should at least add maybe some additional, what's it called, some additional complexity to the whole thing. I mean, you can't really see it much, but it will mess with the colors a little bit. Okay, so then next up, color forest. We already have that here. I think the color forest, like the, well, actually a little bit, it probably has changed, so let's go, well, first of all we need a texture for that. First of all, which texture will we use? I'm gonna go into one of the others, maybe Overgrowth, one of has a nice one. Overgrowth. Oh, you know what, I'm gonna use the same thing from Motowski Bay. No, wait, that's a height map. Grass Dead, I think I used for that. Well, that's maybe a bit. Plant, rock, shrub, blueberry. No, I think I used this one. Yeah, let's use that. We will, or okay, let's just open the Motowski Bay. Actually, that may have been a mistake because that one is huge as well. And now maybe everything crashes. When was the last time I saved? Okay, here's Motowski Bay. Let's click on this, save it, before the whole thing blows up in our faces. Okay, for a second I thought that was it. Okay, this is, by the way, the Motowski Bay. And here we have the forest, and we're just gonna copy that over from Motowski, put that in here. And here we go, that's our forested area texture. And you know what, let's just delete Ebenmaske löschen, Ebene löschen, let's just delete the old one. And no, call this here color forest. And now, you know the drill by now. Let's go into here, choose the blue, no, not the blue, the red. The red are the forested kind of grass areas. Put that shit in here. Nope, already there. And boom. Now switch the rest back on. And you can see we have the forested areas, or the grass areas there. Let's save. I'm still, okay, let's for one thing close Motowski Bay, so that's out of the RAM. I mean, I got 32 gigs of RAM, but I'm also doing like uploading and shit in the background, so let's be careful with this. Yeah, don't need that, don't need that. Okay. So, yeah, we might have to to change that later, like the actual colors, but for now we'll do it like this. So we have the color erosion, color disturbed, erosion highlight, color forest. So the other, if we look at the detail texture files, what else is missing? So the only stuff now that is missing are these small things. For one thing, oh yeah, the one big thing that is still missing is of course the mud that needs its own texture. Gonna say that the footprinted snow probably doesn't need its own texture, like color texture I mean. So we're gonna ignore that for now. Maybe if it looks shit later I can still add another layer, but for now let's do the mud. So the question is mud texture. Let's copy that over. Color, and again, just do it the first time when I fucking click, you piece of shit. Color mud. And let's see, what can we use for that? Motowski doesn't have mud. Maybe I will just use nurse texture from Lego Glidos. See, I have a bunch of shit here. Most of that is grass and so on. I don't want to use the farm. Maybe I will just use this relatively busy sand texture and yeah, let's use that, but make it kind of dark brown grayish. Yeah. And put it like this first. A bit more, I think. A bit darker, I mean. Oops. Yeah, I'll put it like this for now. And then tile it. Now, first make it smaller. Scale picture 256, 256. Scale that shit. Then tile it. Okay, gives us a new picture. Here we go, and that will be our mud texture. Here we go, mud. And make it completely transparent. Then go to the detail texture file and get the mud. Wait a second. Something's the fuck up. Oh wait, no. Okay, for a second I thought... No, okay, never mind, it's green, it's green. For a second, from far away it kind of looked like it was the wrong color. And I thought, how is that even, like, technically possible? Oh, yeah, I need to select this first. Here we go. By now you should know the drill here. Here we go. And so we have our first color texture here. Maybe the mud is too dark after all, but that's an easy fix. Okay. Let's see how this looks in game. So first of all we save the source file. Then we export it as an just exported image, and then we will put that in the editor using the VF2 mod toolkit. And then I Okay, yeah, export as exported image, correct. Overwriting this one. Project of mass, okay, correct. The old one we don't need anymore. And export. I'm really looking forward to seeing that in game. Probably we will have to tweak the colors, but now that we have set it up like this, we can tweak each of these layers separately to our heart's content, or replace textures in there, and so on and so on. So it's pretty easy to mess with it later, and that's why the source file is how I do things, basically. These two we don't need. Okay. Okay, here's our new exported image. Copy that shit over into into here. Colourmaps, Colourmaps. No, Colourmaps editor, Colourmaps. Overwrite. Here we go. Alrighty. Next up, BF2 mod toolkit. Yes. Validate, do Colourmaps, and then Colourmaps importing it. First nconvert file path, then nvdxt file path, and then import map images. Yes. And here we go. Now take a bit again. Dunsky. Going back here, we're just going to copy over the Colourmaps into the SVN copy. Override everything. Rename the two mod folders real quick. And then we're gonna load up the editor and see what it looks like. And here we are in game. And as I had thought, it's probably a bit too busy right now. Although it does look interesting. But yeah, probably we have to tweak that texture a bit more desaturated and have less contrast in here. But I think the basic texture, this probably needs to be made maybe a tad brighter. But yeah, we have the basic texture in here. Yeah, the blue needs to go probably, or at least be toned down a lot, so it needs to be desaturated. So one thing you should not forget when placing these, when importing the color textures is, or any textures, resave it, otherwise it gets overwritten. Although I guess these wouldn't be too bad if they were overwritten, because as I said, need to be tweaked still. But yeah, let's resave them, close the editor, tweak the source file, which I probably will do off camera at this point, and see you back when it looks a bit better. Okay, it's probably still a bit too busy, but I think I tweaked it nicely now so it at least doesn't look completely weird. Maybe I will have to tweak it more, but as I said earlier, due to my source file, that's actually not a huge deal to do. It's still maybe a bit too blue, we will see. So what we will do next is undergrowth. Oh, another thing that I did is I changed the texture for the disturbed snow, because the one that I was using just looked weird with any setting. I will make a completely new texture, that's why I already downloaded that one. But we will do that later. For now I'm using this here as a placeholder, which also looks decent. So, now what we will do, undergrowth. And undergrowth, let's see, doesn't look bad. This too, yeah. Then let's put the overgrowth in. Yeah, that might really be too much. And this is how the forests look now. Decently enough. We will see. Okay, undergrowth. Going to, oh, first of all, terrain. Resave before I forget. So let's resave this as well and terrain as well. Okay, one sec. Alright. Now we can finally use the undergrowth as well. So we make a bunch of materials. First material is number 1, obviously. And that is, as far as I remember, the disturbed snow, right? No, the disturbed snow is not number 1. What was number 1? I think number 1, oh no, number 1 is the erosion type stuff, I think. Okay, erosion. Let's double check this, because you want your undergrowth types to line up with your detail texture types. So number 1 is, yep, erosion. Number 2 is normal snow, which probably we won't do much with that there. And then number 3 is the forest. Okay, that makes sense. So back to undergrowth. So type 2, add material. Number 2 is snow. Material number 3 is forest grass, let's call it that. Then comes the disturbed snow. Then the next one was mud for slot 5. And then the last material is slot 6, was footprints, which we probably will also leave empty. Footprints, okay. So, what we do now is import detail layers. Done. So if we go into undergrowth mode now, as you can see, the undergrowth is completely painted according to the detail layers, and that's what we want. So now we fill these. Let's start with the erosion, go to one of the areas where we have erosion, go into detail texture mode, so this is over here. Here I will probably also make a new detail texture, to be honest, but for now this looks cool. And for erosion we add some stuff that fits for that kind of area, branches. Then first select a mesh. I think we have one that is FH winter branch. Let's use that. And the texture for it. And here save often, because it will crash at some point. FH winter branch. Density, never set it above 1. Make 0.6. Oh, also render, toggle draw, undergrowth. Here we go. So we have a bunch of branches on the ground now. Terrain color scale 1 is fine, variation put it to 1. Then here random size scale, we can make them a random size. Let's start with 0.4 for small ones up to 1.6 or something. So we have a nice variation. Then sway scale 0, sway is for grass. And here we go, we have a bunch of branches on the ground for forested areas, and of course just these areas here as well. More, add type grass. And these will be, okay, let's save. As I said, I'm really, when it comes to the undergrowth, I'm a bit careful because they really tend to crash. So for grass, usually I want it to be like a bush type. looking less so than normal grass. Usually for grass you use 12 star or 6 star. Let's use this vanilla desert bush thing for a change. And as a texture, jungle grass. No. As a texture, use this for now. 0.5. Yeah, that's actually kind of what I want. Probably the texture. First of all, sway scale. They can sway a little bit, I guess, but no, not that much. And I think I will change the texture and make them generally a bit smaller. So the actual texture, and I do know how to make custom textures as well. What does this look like? That actually has something for it, but what if we use a wild grass? Yeah, probably the color's fucked, yeah. You know what? That's actually not bad. The only problem with that is that it will pop in a bit. Question is that a big deal in the kind of terrain we have it in? I would say it's still a bit too much popping in for my taste. Maybe a different field grass. Or we would have to make one that is a different color. Yeah, well. You know what, let's keep that here for now and then later make a custom texture that blends better. Unless we can find something else. Maybe something completely gray, grass mix. What is that test? Well, that would blend in a bit better. I'm not gonna lie, but it looks weird, obviously. Okay. I think for now, even though it will look weird, what is this? that does actually kind of look weird. Kind of look cool, but hey. I think for now I'm gonna use this and then later make my own. Because this does look relatively cool. Okay. Then add type twigs. For that I'm gonna use, first of all, save. For that I'm gonna use the 12 star mesh, I think. Density 0.6. Then the St. Wheat twigs or something similar. Or the snowgrass here. How would that look? That does look kind of cool, doesn't it? Space there, 0.3. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm back. Where was I? Okay. Let's see if we find something else for that. Ooh. Kind of like that one, but obviously it doesn't fit with the mesh. Mesh is too big. Let's try a 6 star. No, it still looks like it's floating, but I like it. Question is, for which mesh was that made? Maybe FH winter twigs? Oh yeah, we have a special mesh for it. Okay, cool. That's nice. Yep. Of course, these should actually sway way less. Actually, probably not at all. Okay. I think that's actually pretty decent for this type of terrain, isn't it? These I might have to tweak. Let's look into the forest, what it looks like here. Certainly looks like a forest in winter. Okay, save. Sooner or later this will crash, believe me. Actually, maybe on the new computer it won't, but we will see. Snow we will leave empty for now. Later I will probably add variation on that using the source file with little bushes sticking out in some places, but for now, for this stage, it's fine. Forest grass, add type, grass. For that I'm gonna use the normal FH2 star. And then we'll find a nice texture that will fit. First of all, variation 1. Wait, did we put variation 1 here? No, we did. Forest grass. 0.9 or something like that. No, 0.7 for now. And now the texture. Field grass? Oh, it already looks pretty good. Certainly the effect I'm going for. Obviously, it's not that windy down there. Yep, I can live with this. Maybe make some of them a bit bigger actually. Yep, like this. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Certainly provide some like graphical highlights to the forest areas. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Save. So for the disturbed snow, when you when you pile up snow, often it kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, it kind of forms little balls and shit, and I'm gonna put stones there, which when they're completely white will hopefully give me the effect, yeah, well, not completely white, but if they're white will hopefully give me the effect I'm after. And at the very least they will add a nice like 3D effect to the whole thing. And for that I will just use rocks for now. Maybe I will have to do something custom here as well. FH winter stones? No, I don't want winter stones, I want the normal generic rock object. With the normal ME gen rock texture. Sway scale obviously 0 and variation 1. Here we go. No, let's make 0.5. Okay, it doesn't look good. I think I will have to maybe reskin that, because the issue that I'm seeing with it is this, is the shadow and the fact that it's kind of gray. Maybe do we have a different texture? Probably not. No, probably not. So yeah, let's put just stones there for now. Yeah, see, because these shadows, these need to go for this to look good. Maybe a different one, but no, that's just the same thing, but darker for Ramel. So yeah, these will be just... but I hope you see what I'm going for. Without these shadows I think they will blend in much better, a bit less gray, and without the rock texture so they look more like, you know, snowballs. But for now let's do it like this. Let's do ME Gen Rock 2. Texture, the same thing. Oh, that looks so stupid. Yeah, they don't really blend properly with that texture. But that's fine. That is fine. I think mud, we don't really need much there. So, okay. Of course, that doesn't look that great, but the other vegetation does. So let's save everything, and it didn't crash for some reason. It must really be the new computer. Yeah, see, that pops in like a motherfucker. So really, we have to do a custom texture for that, or ask somebody to make one for me. But for now, we will keep it like this. Yeah. Oh, actually, variation 1. That already has variation 1. That way, it looks a bit less unrandom. Footprints and mud, I don't think I will put anything there for now. Okay, so let's save it and look at it in game. How we get the map in game I already showed you with the packing and so on, so I'm going to skip that. And we are in game. Now, one thing I noticed is that there is slight FPS drops when in the forest, so it is probably a bit too what's it called? It is probably a bit too thick, and we will have to mess with that further. Other than that, runs nicely though. And I mean, I did predict that. So, yeah. I will run around a bit more on this now. Check out where there's, yeah, a little bit FPS drop now. Yeah, it's probably the forest. So that will have to be thinned out, especially probably the, what's it called, the little bushes as well. But yeah, other than that, I think it's a good start, and I will probably add this to the beta now. Obviously these really look relatively crap now, so these need a complete reskin. Maybe made a bit smaller as well, but that's a trial and error kind of detail thing, so let's run into the forest here. Does look cool, but yeah, so now it's going down to, it doesn't, so far I didn't manage to get it down below 90, so it's still decent, but since this is very early in the map's development, having this FPS drop at this stage is not good. So because of that, we will have to mess with the forest further. Yeah, it's all above 90, so it's not terrible. But it's also not great. Not great, not terrible. Yeah, many of these bushes can probably go in the center of the forest, and maybe make these trees also a bit less thick, and that should already give us some FPS increase here. And over here, Cenicino. Alright. So, that is Operation Mars so far. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching and have a nice day.